Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Miley and Rich, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Miley's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivations that we give the puppies when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give is a little tug and release on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. You're going to be introduced to that and taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now Miley is sitting beautifully at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done, and the first exercise that we're going to be demonstrating for you is heeling. Heeling is a very important walking exercise, and the command is Miley, heel.
Miley.
Now at this point, Miley has a job to do, and that is to walk nicely next to you like a lady, never pulling or tugging out in front of you. Her shoulders should remain even with your left leg, if not a little bit behind your left leg when walking. And this way you're leading the walk and not the other way around. If you turn or change direction, she should do the same. And she should at least have one eye looking at what you are doing at all times. When you stop, she sits automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So when you're walking and you stop to cross traffic or you stop to talk to someone on the street, she should sit nicely without bouncing all around or jumping on the person you're talking to, and wait for her next command. She's a very, very smart little girl. We've enjoyed having her. Now the next command that we're going to demonstrate is the sit-stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, you are not going to use her name. You're going to work this exercise up from about 30 seconds up to 3 minutes. This helps to develop self-control and maturity. And when Rich returns back to her, he walks all the way around her, and she should remain seated until he gets back to her shoulders. He will stop at her shoulders, and at this point she expects to get another command. And you can just tell by her body language, her tail is up. She's having a lot of fun doing this with Rich. It's not like this is torture. She's enjoying every minute of it. She's smiling, her tail is wagging. Rich leaves her in another sit-stay. He walks out to the end of the leash and turns to face her, and if I didn't say it, practice indoors as well as outdoors and lengthen out your time. This time, instead of returning back to her, Rich will use her name and he will call her. And those come commands are very important. He makes her come all the way in and sit. No jumping on you. 4 on the floor when she comes in and sits. And he praises her for a good job. She's so cute. She's just strutting her stuff today. Nice sit. Rich leaves her again in a stay. And what we're trying to develop here is focus and self-control with puppies. That's what you're looking for, and what all puppies lack, like children. Rich will again call her to him. He does use her name to get her attention, and then she comes right in and sits, and then she returns to heel and sitting. Perfect. Now the next commands that we're going to be demonstrating for you are going to be your down commands, and these are great indoor commands to practice because there's really no practical reason to practice them outside. So you can practice right in your living room while you're watching TV. Have her seated at your left. You take your left open palm straight down toward the ground. The one-word command to down and stay. Now your long down stay, typically a puppy can hold longer than the sit stay. They're more comfortable with it. So you're going to work anywhere up to 3 to 5 minutes on the long down stay. When Rich returns back to her, again he walks all the way around her just as he did on the sit stay, returning back to her shoulders where they started. Everything starts and stops at that heel position. So when you get to her shoulders, you have to tell her what you want her to do next, or she will get up and go with you. So if you want her to stay again, you have to tell her to stay. If you want her to heel, you have to tell her to heel. So when she sits, you take your left open palm straight down toward the ground, the one-word command to down and stay. And as you get more familiar with your commands and practicing with her, you can mix them up, and this time Rich will call her out of that. He tells her good girl on the way in, because coming to you should always be a happy event. Back to heel and back sitting. If she doesn't sit, you see that little correction on the leash because she forgot herself for a minute. And the very last exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you, I don't know if there's a fly or something, she's doing something with it. She wanted to itch. Okay. We got an itch. Now the very last command that we're going to demonstrate for you is your down from a distance. So you're going to have your dog sit, you're going to leave her in a stay, you're going to turn to face her. Oh gosh, I think it's flies or something. And Rich is going to... She's done such a perfect video. There you go. Good job. Dogs are like kids, they can make you look really silly on camera. So that is her down from a distance. So we have demonstrated for you all of Miley's formal on-leash obedience commands. Tomorrow when you come to get her, you will get a lesson, provided that you have time, and I really hope you do, so that we can get you working with her and her performing all of those commands for you. She's a great girl. She has not been any problem here at school, and she's very smart. We want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.